You know what? Told me that she's not a virgin anymore and she had fun having sex.
Whoa, truly sex without marriage is fun. But who cares what others say?
Premarital sex is a major issue in today's society. Today's people are unaware of the negative effects of having sex before marriage. They merely believe that having sex is amusing and that nothing else comes after it.
Huh? Koshi? Why are you talking?
Well, I'm here to educate and warn you about premarital sex.
Premarital sex? What is premarital sex anyways?
I got here people who can and have been involved with premarital sex, and there will be more for your correct questions for you to understand it and its implications. On additional note, all the interviewers preferred their identities to be anonymous. Let's see the statements from those who are not in a romantic relationship.
It is having sex before marriage.
For me, ang premarital sex ay ang pagkikipagtalik sa iyong kasintahan nang di pa kayo kasal.
It is having sex before marriage.
Premarital sex, from the word premarital itself, is engaging in sexual intercourse prior to holy matrimony.
Do they agree or disagree on premarital sex? And why?
Let's hear their answers from the same people from the last question.
No, because I want to make sure that I have a secure future for myself first and foremost. I do not support having sexual relations before to being married, since you should only have sexual relations with your spouse if you wish to avoid having an unwanted child.
I purely disagree about premarital sex. Based on Bible, sex is for the people who are married. At napakagandang regalo na ibigay sa partner ang bagay na ito sa tama at takdang panahon.
I do not agree in premarital sex because it is against God's principle. Even living in with your partner is not agreeable for me.
As someone with religious upbringing, I do not align myself with such values or practices, though I do not utterly impose this notion onto everyone.
So, we can see here that most of our interviewees define premarital sex as sex before marriage. In addition to that, they didn't agree on it because of how highly they value what the Bible says and also their safety as an individual.
Koshi, are there any negative effects in committing premarital sex?
Of course there is. Here, let's listen to some of the people who are in a romantic relationship and their take on premarital sex.
For me, premarital sex might bring something bad in our relationship because there's a possibility that after doing it, your partner will not be able to respect you anymore. The consequence you might get if makikipag-sex ka ay magkasakit, and malaki ang chance na hindi faithful ang partner. In short, pagkasal, may seguridad ang health and emotional safety.
Akala nila ay isang laro lamang ang kanilang ginagawa, pero bandang huli, magulang ang magdudusa sa kanilang kasalanang nagawa. Sa hirap ng buhay ngayon, hindi madaling maging magulang at magpalaki ng bata lalo na kung walang sapat na financial support.
Causes STDs. Sexual activity brings people together, yet it may have quite different effects on them. The aim of premarital intercourse determines is morality. Premarital sex can be harmful in community. That will lower a guy's morale and risk a girl's honor. Premarital sex should be avoided for women's safety and honor. Likewise, such things severely weaken society.
Bad kung wala pa kayong stable job para makabuo ng bata.
We are taught in the Bible premarital sex is a sin. And we all know that sin reaps consequences impervious to our will.
Oh, so that's what premarital sex does to people. That's so sad to hear.
Yup. So now, Gian, after hearing all those negative effects, let's spend more time listening to some real-life experiences of premarital sex from the same chosen interviewees from your last question. As the saying goes, experience is the best teacher. Therefore, we must know more directly from the people who have experienced it.
Nakipag-sex ako sa maling tao.
Ang negatibong experience ko ay ang pakipagtalik sa hindi ko kakilala. One night stand baga.
Medyo nag-worry lang minsan kasi baka buntis, ganun. Hindi mapakali o kinakabahan.
Nung akala ko na buntis jowa ko dahil almost 3 or 4 weeks na siyang hindi dinatnan, hindi pa kami ready. So I think yun ang worst na experience ko sa premarital sex.
Based on what we heard, did this mean that committing premarital sex brought them anxiety and have excessive worries in possible having a child?
Yes, not only because they've made a mistake of having sex before marriage, as the Bible says, without the safety and reassurance of support from a marriage in relationship, having a child before that can put a lot of burden on them, especially as a woman who would carry the child.
Oh, I understand now, Koshi. Can you tell me more about it?
Worry no more. This can also help people understand the importance of the sanctity of sex and how it should be done by married couples only. As the Bible says in 1 Thessalonians verse 4, chapter 3 to 5, "For this is the will of God, that you should be holy and abstain from sexual immorality. Each one of you should know how to control his own body in holiness and honor, not with greedy, uncontrolled sexual passion like the nations have that do not know." According to the Bible, only those who are married should participate in sexual activity. As a result, anyone who wants to please God should not engage in any sexual activity until they get married. The biblical verse makes it clear that God does not approve of any sexual activity before marriage. Therefore, in order to maintain our holiness until we are married, we must control any sexual temptation that may arise. To add some of your knowledge, Gian, here are some prevention tips that came from our interviewees who had experiences in premarital sex.
Before doing premarital sex, think about it first. Will I enjoy it and never regret it afterwards? You may be degrading yourself by giving away something precious. Your body is far too valuable to give away, so show that you have the strength of character to obey God's commandment to abstain fornication. So if you're not ready to get married, don't commit yourself in a relationship.
You have to focus first on your study. Avoid dating.
Huwag mag-explore if gusto mong kasal muna before sex.
As much as possible, we should maintain our respects to ourselves and to our partners because I believe that all things must come in right time in life.
Be patient. Think of the questions what might happen afterwards. Am I ready for the responsibility? Am I ready to leave everything behind?
Huwag maging padalos-dalos sa buhay. Isipin ang magiging resulta.
Oh, that really helped me a lot to understand what premarital sex is and what it can do to us.
Now that you know more, Gian, please be safe out there and remember all that we discussed earlier today, okay?
Got it, Koshi. Thanks again for that.
It is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, that each of you should learn to control your own body in a way that is holy and honorable, not in passionate lust like the pagans, who do not know God.